All right, let's dive into a topic that so many of us dream about, remodeling our home. You've got this amazing vision in your head, right? But how do you make sure that vision becomes a reality without the whole process turning into a total nightmare? Well, that's what we're going to figure out today.
Yeah, this quote really gets right to the point, doesn't it? It's kind of the hard truth that the road to that perfect home can be, well, a little rocky. So let's talk about how you can prepare for those bumps. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the thing that keeps you up at night before that first hammer even swings. But the good news is there are some really clear, simple strategies to protect your project and, just as importantly, your sanity. Okay, first, let's just acknowledge the emotional roller coaster. It all starts from this amazing place, the dream of a perfect space made just for you. But the journey from that dream to the finished product, well, that's where reality loves to crash the party. That's right. I mean, for most of us, this isn't just some casual project. It's the result of years of saving, of pinning things on Pinterest, of dreaming. You've poured your heart into every single choice, from the cabinet hardware to the flow of the rooms. And here's where it all shifts. The second that construction actually starts, you're not just a dreamer anymore. Suddenly, you're a project manager, juggling schedules, decisions, and personalities. And that can be a truly massive, super stressful job. But hey, don't worry, you are definitely not in this alone. We've actually boiled it all down to a simple 4-step survival guide. Think of this as your personal toolkit for cutting through the chaos and keeping that dream alive. So here they are. Be prepared, budget, get help, and relax. Now, I know they sound almost too simple, but trust me, the secret to a successful remodel is nailing every single one of these. So let's start with the big one. This might be the single most important thing you hear today. Before anyone touches a single wall, your design needs to be 100% done. I'm talking every single material, every light fixture, every paint color, all of it decided and documented. And this quote shows you exactly why. Trying to make big design decisions on the fly, in the middle of construction, that is a recipe for disaster. It leads to delays, mistakes, and a budget that just explodes. So lock in that plan before you start. Okay, once that design is set in stone, you can really tackle step 2, your budget. And this isn't just about having a big number in your head. It's about knowing exactly where every single dollar is supposed to go before you even spend. And please pay very close attention to that second point. Leave a huge cushion. Look, it's not a question of if something unexpected will happen, it's when. You might find rotted wood behind a wall, or a material you picked suddenly gets backordered. That contingency fund is your financial seatbelt. Not having it is how projects end up half-finished. Which brings us to step 3. And this one's a biggie. I know it's so tempting to try and save some money by being your own general contractor, but here's some tough love. Unless you are literally a professional contractor, just don't do it. Just think about it for a second. A good general contractor handles all the scheduling, the subcontractors, the permits, the problems. They are your shield against the day-to-day chaos of a job site. Seriously, paying for that expertise is an investment in your own well-being. And finally, we get to the step that pretty much everyone forgets. Relax. I know it sounds completely impossible when your house is filled with dust and strangers, but it is absolutely essential. And here's the trick. The only way it'll actually happen is if you pre-schedule it. Don't wait until you feel like you need a break, because that day will never come. You have to put it on the calendar, just like you would a meeting with the electrician. Go out for dinner, take a weekend trip, whatever. It's not a luxury. It's a critical part of the plan. Okay, you've got your plan, your budget, your professional help, but what about the things you can't control? Like the timeline. This is, hands down, one of the biggest sources of frustration for any remodel. You know, you can't stop it from raining for a week straight, which can bring all your exterior work to a grinding halt. But what you can do, and what you must do, is build that possibility into your schedule from day one. A realistic timeline is one that expects the unexpected. And you need to understand this distinction. You're probably going to see 2 kinds of timelines. First, there's the wishful timeline. It's shorter, it sounds great, and it's often what a contractor uses to win your business. But what you need to demand is the realistic timeline. It's always longer and for a very good reason. It actually accounts for delay.
So how do you get this magical, realistic timeline? You just have to ask for it directly. Tell your contractor, look, I would rather have an accurate, longer timeline than a super optimistic, shorter one. Chances are they'll breathe a sigh of relief and give you a date that's several weeks later than their first estimate. That is the date you want. That's the real one.
So, as we start to wrap this up, what's the one thread that ties all of this together? You know, it's not just about gritting your teeth and surviving the remodel. It's about taking back control through smart, proactive, and realistic planning. So let's just do a quick recap of those pillars that are going to protect your project. 1. Meticulous preparation. Finish that design first. 2. Realistic communication. Demand that accurate timeline. 3. Financial discipline. Master that budget and build in a big cushion. And 4. Professional help. Don't try to be a hero and do it all yourself. These are the things that make all the difference. And that's the final thought I want to leave you with. Your dream home is planned out in your head. That's the fun part. But is your plan ready for reality? Because by preparing for the real-world stress, the real-world budget, and the real-world timeline, you're not just building a house, you're building your dream the right way. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.